It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And also we have the Merman, who's sporting a Huey Lewis in the News t-shirt. Did you get that at a concert, or did you go on and buy that separately somewhere? Do people actually buy? Can you buy that in a store? Can you go to like the Bay or something, or
No.
the Walmart or the?
I got this from Mr. Lewis himself.
Mr. Lewis himself gave you that t-shirt
At his concert. That's right.
Okay. Now,
That was like one of those guns, the T-shirt guns.
Through the power of his vending or his merchandise table, but
Didn't he have the power of love?
I thought he had the power of love.
Yeah.
he has the power of love.
Rings
Alright.
down from above.
No, that's
No.
a different.
Sorry.
That's the good power of love.
Whatever. Just continue with your crap.
You know, Frankie says relax there, Murray.
Yeah, well, relax yourself there, Bryce.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Oh, thanks.
That took a
to-
while.
Yeah. Thanks to all been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, sharing. Give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform, or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/filmrageyoc. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film, and we'll watch it. We played anywhere in the world in a cinema. Let's get to raging.
Bryce gets distracted easily, much like that old couple he was dealing with today.
Yeah. Huh?
Look, a castle.
What amazing moment predict? What amazing moment predict?
Yeah.
Will he predict a rage or will he predict a
Mondo.
Will he tell us all what Jim and Bryce saw at the movies? Better watch out, kids. Here he comes. He's coming swimming to you. Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim, Murray, swim all the way to our hearts.
Well, we had a little thing called the Calgary International Film Festival this week.
Yes.
Somehow you guys found time to go to movies outside of that.
We did. Because you know what? We've got the power of love.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, and this week I didn't watch any trailers. I'm just gonna wing it.
What?
We got The Wild Robot, which is another cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
It's
Yeah.
a cartoon.
It's an animated feature.
Animated feature.
Yes.
Which I don't really go to.
Except
The
unless
exception
it's
of Transform,
robots.
unless it has
Robots.
Chris
Robots.
Hemsworth.
With red
This-
eyes.
But this had robot. Why didn't you go to this?
It had plural robots.
It had
Some of
robots.
us were busy, Bryce.
Some of them had red eyes.
Some of them did.
Some of us didn't have a whole week off to do stuff.
That's true.
Yeah. It's a cartoon,
Yep.
but probably a well done one.
Yep. Maybe.
So, let's say Bryce maybe gave it a meh.
Huh.
And I think Jim, let's just throw it a Mondo there.
Ooh.
Except we have
I think you were probably half right.
probably or not right at all. Again, don't really care.
Well, I know you weren't right with me.
Next up we have My Old Ass,
Behind.
which I was supposed to go to during the festival.
Butt cakes.
chose not to because it was in a
Talk
location
about
that I
bum cakes. My
despise
girls
and will
got
never
'em.
go into again.
Big bottoms get me out
but
of
yeah,
my mind.
and,
How can I leave
Aubrey
this
Plaza.
behind?
Yes.
Yes. She's like
Two
an-
movies this week, and I
Yes!
apparently I went to the wrong one.
We saw.
I think
Aubrey
she might have
Plaza.
been in all four. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she might have been in.
Maybe she was a voice too.
That's the only person working this week. Is Aubrey
I
Plaza.
don't know. Looked interesting. I didn't really
She
see a
works
trailer. I
hard
think
for
I
the
saw
money.
part of a trailer. So yeah, that's double mad that.
Oh,
Double
no?
met. All right.
Then we have Megalopolis.
Megalopolis.
Or as 99% of the world calls it, Megaflopolis.
What?
If you guys don't give this a rage, I'll be very disappointed in you. So a double rage.
Huh.
And last
It
one we
depends
have,
if both of us saw all of it.
I
did
saw
someone fall
all
asleep?
of it.
You know what? I almost fell asleep in it. It was the middle of the day.
You know, these nasty rumors of me falling asleep in like every
You've
movie.
admitted it on numerous occasions.
Yes, occasionally I might have a little snooze, but I'm getting old.
That's right, you are. That's what happens when you go to more than one movie a day. You should stop doing that.
Well, I fell asleep in the first movie. I didn't fall asleep.
Well, wasn't the second movie like at 10 o'clock at night? Like that's a no-no for me. Go for that shit.
Yeah, I didn't sleep through it at all.
No.
I didn't sleep through, by the way, Megalopolis. I closed my eyes a couple of times,
And-
but I did not
And did
sleep.
snore. So
I didn't
There you
can you
go.
snore while you're awake?
That is just
Okay.
a lie.
And the last one was Lee, which I believe was Kate Winslet
It was.
Yes.
playing a real person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting naked.
Yeah. Getting
I like
really.
when she gets naked.
She gets naked all the
Even at
time,
her-
and you must like
Even
all
at
her
her
movies.
age, she's still
Yeah,
got it.
she's like, okay, I'll
She's
only
free.
do this role if I can get naked.
Yeah,
And
that's
they said,
right.
all right,
It's, based on a real
I'll write a
story,
couple
and,
nude scenes in for you.
You know, Kate Winslet's pretty awesome. So let's just throw out a double mondo there.
Double
All right.
Mondo.
There you
Ooh.
And my disclaimer: I don't care.
Oh,
All right.
we know you do.
No, I really
He
don't.
cares at the top of his
I
heart.
honestly don't.
All right, so we got evil robots with red eyes again. Right?
Kind of.
Taking over the world.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well,
I'm gonna let you take the lead on this again,
alrighty,
'cause
sounds good. So
I may
let's
not
talk
have-
about the wild robot. The wild robot. I am doing the robot. Families, just in case anybody doesn't know, come in all shapes and sizes. But in reality, with humans, they also come in the wild as well. And also with a robot. So we got robots
Okay.
and animals
Yeah.
that create a family.
Oh, wow.
Also, we learned in this film, as I've already mentioned,
Yeah.
that robots with red eyes are evil and blue eyes are good.
That's true.
So it must be a rule now.
That
do
is
that.
that is
Like, isn't there like an
factual.
Asimov's theory of robots or something that somebody invented? That
Asimov?
yeah,
Asimov, you
him,
mean?
that dude. Did he
The
make the
Russian
rule
dude?
about the red eyes
Asimov.
too?
That's mom.
Yeah,
Did,
him.
Did you write about robots?
He did something like that. But
Yeah.
you know, apparently if you've got red eyes, you're evil, which was predominant in this movie. So in this particular family, it's primarily made up of a robot named Roz,
Yes.
a fox named Fink, and a little goose named Brightbill.
Yep.
This cartoon does not hide the fact that animals eat each other and has possums that, well, play possum and have a fascination with death. The humor is funny. The story is rich with lessons for the whole family to learn from and enjoy. And on top of that, a true test of a good cartoon. It had me bawling my eyes out a couple of times. Ultimately, the message is family is everything, and a tribe is a tribe that can come together when it's important. Even if normally half the island tribe wants to eat the other half. I feel this is a story that both adults and kids will find entertaining and enjoyable, although the amount of content dealing with death may be a little bit of a shock for some of the parents, I think. I don't know
Yeah,
what your thoughts
but it shouldn't be. There was a time in this world where, you know, like just watch Bambi, just what, you know, where death was acceptable to put into
Yeah,
movies,
and then
and then
they
all of a
took
sudden
death-
they took it out completely.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
I
of
agree.
Disney.
Yeah.
So it definitely had this dark humor that had me both laughing
Oh.
and enjoying this film immensely. I love this film. It was Mondo.
Yeah, the wild robot is in its content is a bit of a throwback, but with some amazing animation. I mean, this is what, like, I'm pretty sure this is like computer generated animation,
Yeah.
but this is how it should look. Like there was a warmth to it. Like I don't know that I've ever seen computer animation with this much warmth.
Yeah.
The nature was amazing that was depicted in this. The animals looked great.
Yeah.
This is maybe my favorite looking computer generated animated movie ever because it just looked so good.
You know, saying that, we've had in the last, I want to say 2 years, some amazing computer animated, like the Turtles was animated. It was it? And it had a completely.
It was a unique look. Yeah.
And the Spider-Man one too. Spider-Man also amazing animation.
Well, Into the Spider-Verse that had like 900 different types of animation.
No, I know, but it still had a lot.
It did still have a lot of
computer-generated animation.
It did.
So what I'm saying is, I think computer.
And those were both
getting better.
Yeah, and they looked tremendous. But this one was like really beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like an art piece. And you know, we talked about flow, right?
Yeah.
That the backgrounds in this would match the same level of quality of flow.
Yeah, they'd be better than flow in my opinion.
I would say it's pretty comparable because
the flow looked good, but this looked tremendous.
Close up, the difference being is the close up animals in this one looked better.
They did indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lupita Nyong'o as Roz in this. It's so funny because it's a robot, and there's a bit of a coldness involved with being a robot, and she somehow balanced that with being tremendously likable and tremendously warm at the same time. And it was a in the wrong hands, that voice work could have come across not anywhere near as well. She was amazing in it.
And even the little duck.
Oh,
because he starts talking robot because that's his mother.
Yeah. And the darkness, as you say, there's a lot of dark in this as well.
Yeah.
A lot of just pitch black humor. And it's all just works so well. This was such a joy. I think that this is one of the top 3 animated movies of all time for me. I liked it that much. This was Mondo. And the funny thing is, I saw another movie this week that would slide right into the top 3 animated movies of all time for me as well. So my top 3 animated movies just got thrown on its ear, because 2 of them just got slid in in this last week, but the other one I'll be talking about later. However, The Wild Robot is one of the best animated movies that I've ever seen in my life. I enjoyed every single second of it. I laughed. I'm choking back the tears. There's everything in this movie. It was a ride, and it was so amazing. I love The Wild Robot.
Yeah, it's so good.
And the music, Chris Bowers.
Yeah.
How good was the music?
It was so
everything in this was just so good.
There was nothing I would have changed about this film.
You know what the other thing that I think about this, there's sometimes you'll watch an animated feature and you'll hear the voice actors and they're going through the motions. Yeah. You could tell that all of these guys knew what they were making, and they were bringing their A game. Every single person in this was bringing their A game. You could tell how much everybody cared through their voice about this project.
Yeah, totally. The possums to me were so good because they had 7 possums, and then one died, and they're like, oh well, you know that happens. The mother possum's like, oh that happens, and then it comes
I'm
back.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm okay. And
she's like, oh great. It was so good.
You're just wanting your baby to die? Well, she's got 6, you know.
Oh, this movie was so good.
Yep. All right. Well, and I can't remember who Aubrey Plaza played in it, but I'm sure she was great.
I'm sure she was great in it because she was in everything this week.
Yeah, of course, everything. But the one she was mostly in, well, maybe not mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
Probably
probably not. It's close.
Pretty close, because the other one was like 17 hours long.
Yeah, so she had a bit part, but it was 17 hours, so she might have been in for about the same amount.
Yeah, exactly. So my old ass. So first off, right away, it's refreshing to see a Canadian coming-of-age shot and filmed, and that takes place in Canada, where they're using Canadian currency.
Okay.
Just want to put that out there.
Yep.
You know what? Because it's okay to be Canadian, and it's okay to have a movie about Canadians coming of age.
Pretty sure she
Directors,
got paid American, though.
Maybe. I don't know. So a young 18-year-old is spending her last couple of weeks before going to university, living her best lesbian life with her two best friends. But she soon realizes that maybe she's not gay. What? On top of that, she starts talking to her old ass self, who's 20 years older than her, who happens to be Aubrey Plaza. And she does this through doing mushrooms for the first time. Apparently, if you do mushrooms and have a bad trip, you might have your future self appear and start talking to you. Maybe. I never had a bad trip on mushrooms, so I wouldn't know. Her old ass self, again, played by the wonderful Aubrey Plaza, reminds her how important family is, how she should enjoy this time she has, and make a few predictions for what is going to happen in her life. Of course, like most 18-year-old selves, she does some of the things, but not others. Ultimately, both young and old asses learn from each other and realize that no matter how short of a time you have with people that love you, that time is worth it no matter how much time you have with them. It's cute and heartwarming and has this quirky sci-fi future mushroom thingy that sure is kind of dumb, and also that wouldn't want, but who wouldn't want to, talk to yourself, or either as the young version of yourself or the old version of yourself. And of course, gets to kiss yourself to see if you're a good kisser. Me personally, I might want to find out other things as I explore my body, be it young or old, but that's me. I'm not saying. I liked it a lot. It didn't start out really liking it, but as the story unfolded, I liked it more and more. It was meh for me. I liked it.
All right. Well, the good things about my old ass, Maisie Stella as young Elliot.
Bryce said ass.
Yes. Maisie Stella as young Elliot, I do believe has star potential. She is very good in this.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Percy Hines White as Chad might be like the most likable character that's ever been put on film. It's how could you not fall in love with this guy?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of odd the turn that it took, having someone that's so sure that she's a lesbian and then all of a sudden falls for a dude. That was kind of a weird.
Well, maybe all the
story.
dudes, because she lives in a small town. Maybe all the dudes that she's met,
maybe
there's nothing for her.
Maybe
in the nether regions.
I like the fact that they didn't try to explain the way the science fiction-y part of it.
Yeah.
It just was there.
Yeah.
So
like
you've
calling
got
each other on cell phones.
Yeah. You just got to go with it.
Accept what you've got.
They didn't try to explain it at all. It makes absolutely no sense, and it didn't end up mattering the way it was shot.
Yeah.
And you just like, all right, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was just kind of a weird movie.
It is, but it
had such good performances, and it had such likable characters.
And the message I thought was really kind of good.
The message was weird.
It was good. Like to me,
was it?
Yeah, because this is a girl that on her birthday, where her whole family's waiting for her to go home and celebrate her birthday with her. They got a cake, and her little brother made a cake, and she's off doing mushrooms with her friends and doesn't even answer the mom. So
that's
they really
the good
did
message.
No,
was this like
really
16 Candles?
Yeah,
No.
it's exactly like
it's like 16 Candles.
it was like exactly.
Well, it was a love story, so it's a little bit more like
it's like past lives.
Yeah, kind of like past lives. No, so literally there is some past lives going on in it, but so. No,
everything's like past lives. Murray, don't you know that yet?
All love stories are like
Apparently.
past lives. We've already discussed this. But no, so the real true message was that no matter what, the people that are important in your life, you've got to let them know that they're important in your life, and don't forget about it. So the message came through loud and clear, and also I don't want to give any spoilers in this, because there is
there's
spoilers that could be had.
Yeah,
and
there
I think
is.
it's worth seeing this movie.
Honestly, I didn't know where it was going, and it did actually sneak up on me because you're almost like, basically, you know, her old self tells her that she has to avoid this one guy, and
doesn't say why.
And man, he is unavoidable. I mean, there's no way that she's not,
because he's so awesome.
Because he's so awesome.
It's like, I want to date him.
There's like nothing wrong with this guy. Like nothing.
He's completely dateable by everybody.
Yes. But yeah, it's a movie.
Different. It's
different.
It's different, but that's what I liked so much about it, because the characters are great, the story is heartwarming, and you get an old ass and a young ass. It's really,
I thought the two leads were very good, and I'm not considering Aubrey Plaza a lead in this. She's a side character.
She's a bit of a side character.
But Maisie Stella and Percy Hines White both have sky's the limit for both of them. They're both very good.
And we've seen them before and things.
But it was meh.
Yeah. Well, that's a double memmer. Double memmer.
Memmer.
Memmer. All right, so one movie that Bryce and I didn't see.
Well, because it wasn't out anywhere.
It was only playing in two times in the entire week.
Let me tell you a story.
About a man named Jed?
Because this is all I got.
Poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed.
While I was working
then one day
at
he was
the
shooting for some food.
All right,
went up from the ground, came a bubbling crude.
Shut up.
Oil, that is.
Texas tea. Okay, so it's not
While
about...
I was working at the festival,
yes,
one of our patrons who was going to one of the movies,
yes,
mentioned that this had come out.
And you're like,
it was
what?
news to me because I didn't hear anything about it. And then I looked on, it was playing in one theater in the entire city, and it had 2 showings for the entire week. One was on Saturday afternoon, which I was already at the festival, so I couldn't do anything. The other one was on a Wednesday night. So I had to cancel a ticket for a previous CIFF movie I was going to go to, which you guys saw.
Yes.
To go all the way to the north end of the city to see this movie. This was after my regular shift during the day.
Yes.
So yeah, it was quite a trek to get there. And I believe you challenged me to find out how many people actually went to this.
Yes.
Sold out.
Wow.
What?
And not just that, but the ticket that I purchased was the one I usually purchase, which is in the handicap there when you first come in.
Yeah. They had to move you?
I moved on my own. I had a physical ticket right in the middle of the aisle, not next to the the what do you call it, companion seat or whatever. It was right in the middle. And right before it started, this whole family showed up with their dad who was in the wheelchair.
Wow.
And they were like sitting around me, and there was like one person who was still standing. So they didn't buy enough tickets for that row, so I actually moved like 2 rows up. But yeah, it was almost sold out. And yeah, there was quite a few handicapped people there. So obviously,
did we even say what the movie was?
Oh, sorry. It is Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story.
There you go.
Which I believe is coming out on, I don't know, Prime or Netflix or something.
Some kind of streaming service.
Anyway, yes, I did see it in the theater, and because I'm a huge fan of his, I went to it in the middle of the festival. Hey, look, I was 7 years old when this movie came out.
You mean Superman?
The original Superman.
Oh, okay.
I was 7. So 7-year-old me seeing my favorite superhero of all time, yes, even more than Deadpool, see a man flying. That was it. And, you know, Gene Hackman and Margot Kidder, I mean, that was the movie for me.
Hackman.
And, yeah, granted, Christopher Reeve didn't have that great of a career after the Supermans, probably due to the last one that he did. But he had a decent career, and he directed stuff, and he did some serious stuff, and not only that, he was like the best friend of Robin Williams. Like, those two were inseparable. Their families hung out together all the time. So, and the story was tragic. Like, and I saw the footage. He's just horseback riding, doing the equestrian thing.
Oh, so they actually showed the action.
No, showed the actual action. Didn't look that bad. He wasn't like going fast. He wasn't racing around a track.
Yeah.
He was doing the show jumping thing, and all of a sudden the horse just stopped and he went forward.
Yeah, it kind of shows it in the trailer too.
Yeah. And yeah, he became quadriplegic after that. He had no feeling below his neck. And he used that to basically raise awareness and money for handicapped people across North America. And then his wife also helped him with that. She died like 5 years after him of cancer. So, I mean, it's a tragic story for the whole family. But their foundation has raised hundreds and hundreds of millions and awareness for people with disabilities. It just... So, yeah, absolutely, it was a Mondo, but you guys probably wouldn't have liked it. Because, yeah, I mean, you have to really...
Did we tell you how much we like the Celine Dion documentary?
Yes.
There you go.
Do you know how much I dislike Celine Dion?
Yeah, well...
There you go.
But the documentary was tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it had its slow parts. I mean, because, yeah, it showed a lot of his post-accident stuff as opposed to his pre-accident stuff. But, I mean...
So it seems like it was more about his journey after the accident.
Journey after the accident, yeah. And it had his kids. He had 2 kids from the first marriage, and then he had his youngest one who was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 when he had the accident. He was like 12 when he passed away. And he's actually he's like well known. He's like a popular or famous journalist in America. It looks just like him.
Wow.
Just like Christopher.
Never heard of him.
His name is Will.
There you go.
He does, I don't know, nightly news or something like that. Nobody does. But anyway.
Alrighty.
But yeah, and they also are still... The foundation is still around raising money. So yeah, I loved it. It was awesome. But yeah, it just the fact that it only ran twice in the whole week. I don't know if it's going to be coming back at all. Maybe.
Well, it sounds maybe. Sometimes they do that.
But no, I really enjoyed
do
it.
the special ahead of time, but sounds like it's probably going to come straight to streaming here.
Probably
pretty
straight to
shortly.
streaming.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
No, good. That's good. Now when it comes out, we'll watch it and we'll let you know.
All right then.
All right. So Megalopolis, Megapopsicle.
Megalopolis.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
All right. So, or as Murray's already mentioned, or better yet, it's not Megalopolis. It should be called Megaflopulous.
Yes.
With
That's what it was.
A little influence by Marcus Aurelius, Shakespeare, and the U.S. political arena, all tied into a fantasy sci-fi film that has some amazing visuals and a lot of rich opulence, built-in greed and power, except for one man, Caesar, played by Adam Driver, whose vision is timeless and fantasy-ridden and also convoluted and over the top, where a lot of the dialogue is delivered in this style of choppy 1930s style delivery that feels unnatural, just like most of this story. There is some creative work done in this film somewhere, but for the most part, I could care less about every single thing that was happening. I like that Francis Ford stretched some boundaries in the film, but I did not like this movie at all. I've got lots to unpack, but this was a huge rage for me. I really hated this film. I tried hard.
2.5 hours long.
I tried hard to like things in it.
It's got Adam Driver in it.
And Adam Driver is Adam Driver in it, and Aubrey Plaza's Aubrey Plaza. But I got so much more to unpack, but I kind of want to hear what you guys think of it.
What you think, Mur?
Yes, I did go to this one on Cheap Tuesday. Thankfully, it only cost me $8 to see it because I wouldn't have paid a penny more. To borrow some colorful language from my buddy Jim, what the fuck was that? Seriously, I have no idea what this film was supposed to be. The latest and probably last film ever by Francis Ford Coppola was a glorious train wreck of a film with a star-studded cast and an extremely confusing plot. I get that it was supposed to be a modern retelling of the Roman Empire and its downfall, but Coppola also threw a lot of Shakespeare in there just for good measure. We even had a Shia LaBeouf sighting, who's batshit crazy, but it works for him in this case. And what the hell was going on with that whole stopping time thing? It was the only thing sci-fi about it. Otherwise, it's just a basic City of the Future. But yeah, he just can stop time whenever he wants. Like, what the hell? This train wreck of a film flies off the rails, crashes, and sets itself on fire.
Yes, it does.
It's so bad, it's almost brilliant. Unfortunately, all the pretty pictures don't amount to a good story. Coppola sold off his vineyards and who knows what else to fund this box office flop himself.
Passion project.
It cost $125 million to make and barely made $6 million over the weekend.
Yeah, art costs sometimes.
I don't think he'll be doing that again. Such a tremendous rage. Oh my God, it was so bad.
Yep.
Hey, Francis Ford Coppola, he was swinging for the fences here. The problem,
Is that what it was?
The problem is that you're watching the movie and there's no cohesiveness at all, and it's hard to get around the fact that something will happen, and then there's like absolutely no payoff. They'll talk about a riot, but then there's no riot. They'll have a what was it, like a meteor or something hit, and then nothing comes of it.
That was a Russian satellite.
Was it? Whatever the heck it was.
You fell asleep through the part where it was crashing.
I know, I watched it. What are you talking about? At any rate, there were so many things in this that led nowhere.
Yeah.
And there would be a scene that was, finally there'd be a scene that was okay, but then something that should have been a 5-minute scene stretches out to 12 minutes. And it's like, if you would have just had this as a 5-minute scene, it would have been, that scene at least would have been okay.
Yeah.
This is overindulgent, bloated like you wouldn't believe, and just,
no cohesiveness.
Not enjoyable. There's got to be some level where at some point I am going to watch this again someday, because I know there's stuff I'm missing. You're telling me that I slept through some of it, so apparently there's more than I think I missed.
Yeah, you missed some. But it wasn't anything you really missed.
At any rate,
I went to the bathroom during the whole Madison Square Garden orgy.
It was hard to wrap my brain around there. And here's the kicker. It should have looked better too. It didn't even look that good to me. Like, I didn't think it was a good looking film either.
There was some good looking things in it, but overall,
nothing looked good for me. The images were not enthralling at all. So this was a rage with an asterisk, because I feel I need to watch it again, and I need to really sit there and maybe watch it twice more. In the next 5 years, I'm going to watch this 2 more times.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give my final rating on it.
5 years from now. Put it on your calendar, people.
Yes. But as of right now, as of today, Megalopolis is a rage.
Yes, it is.
It's a rage that I'm curious to see if it may be going to be better the more I watch it.
I don't think it will.
I think it might be.
Good luck to you is what I would say.
All right.
There's too many good movies that are still coming out that I want to see.
It's such a strange movie though, because I guarantee that the ridiculous acting of some of the characters was there because Francis Ford Coppola wanted it that way.
100%. It's actually very intentional.
And sometimes it's distracting though. Sometimes
it is. It was distracting the whole movie because it wasn't consistent. There was no consistency through the whole film.
No.
Dustin Hoffman for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, that was a godsend, really.
Yeah, so
less Dustin Hoffman these days is good.
Yeah, so okay, let me tell you a few of the things. First off, Natalie Emmanuel was horrible in this. Okay. Like, she's almost unwatchable in this. Yeah. How she made it as the main lead opposite Adam Driver, I have no clue.
Game of Thrones.
The only person that was any good in this, in my opinion, was Giancarlo Esposito. The only person that was any good in this as Mayor Franklin Cicero.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. No, what's her name? His wife was in it too. She's also
she was good.
Rocky
Catherine Hunter,
woman?
Teresa Cicero. Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Catherine Hunter.
The other one. I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Okay. So I had to get that off my chest.
You are correct. You are correct. She was good as well, but she has been not very much.
Did anybody notice how much we got Morpheus in this too? So they did, not only did they throw Shakespeare and Mark Antony and Marcus Aurelius,
and everybody was in it.
And we had Morpheus.
Yeah, we had Morpheus in it. I get all the references. We got a ton of them. It's ridiculous.
Plus, there's like 7,000 characters.
But every actor in this movie was putting in a performance that was in a different movie. None of them seemed to be in the same movie.
No,
with the level or what was asked of them. They were all in different movies within the same scene. They're in different movies.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
Yeah, and you'll get
And that's why maybe I need to watch it again, because
No,
maybe I'm
'cause
not appreciating
nothing-
exactly
You
what
like,
Francis Ford
Pause it
Coppola was
enough
trying to
every
do
like
here.
10 minutes, maybe you can actually figure out what just happened.
No,
I need to
there's
watch it
no
again.
cohesiveness. And then you get people like James Remar and Jason Schwartzman that are in this.
Well, that,
that are like
Schwartzman
totally-
was just a waste.
Yeah, they were. So
Why?
was Remar.
Remar,
Like, you
why are
you don't
they
even
even
know
in-
why
yeah.
they're in it. It's just they bloated this whole character, and it's like nobody had any real purpose in the movie.
Yeah, it was a mess.
But
It's an absolute
the best,
mess.
the actual, you know, the only good thing about this movie
Okay, go ahead.
is they ended the song with a the song.
That song?
I like. By the way, the only good thing about this movie was the end.
Is the singing at the end.
Well, I actually
this
like the. I
sappy
like the
Hollywood
last.
ending?
I like the last season. The ending. I
song.
did like that. Okay, the song was fine, but I liked the ending of the movie.
You know what I liked about the ending?
The
song.
I meant it was over.
And
The.
and to Murray's point, it was finally fucking over.
Yeah. Well,
After 2 hours and
did
20
not.
22
some-
hours.
for
20
the
minutes,
story
yeah.
they were telling, that when you break it down, is not complicated at all. This is one of the most simple stories that's ever been told,
Or
and they
retold.
stretched it out, or retold,
It started off
or
as Julius
retold again.
Caesar, and
Yeah.
then it became Hamlet. And
2 hours and 20 minutes was far too long
Way too
to tell this very simple story.
this real simple Shakespeare ripoff.
Yeah.
But hey, did you ever think you'd have a character named Wow Platinum?
Wow, platinum.
You know what? I didn't. But
Yeah.
I never need.
you know what? I wish that was in one of Coppola's other films that he made. I don't know which one.
There you go. Anyways, this was a rage.
You know,
For now.
Yeah.
For
it's
now.
It's going to be that way forever.
For
because
now.
this movie's horrible.
For now.
All right. Lee.
Lee. Harvey
With-
Oswald?
No.
Nope.
It's
Oh.
the other Lee. Lee Miller.
Other Lee. Lee Miller?
Yeah.
Who's Lee Miller?
Lee
Tell us,
Miller
Jim.
was a strong, independent, and very prominent woman who made a name for herself as a model and then, more importantly, a war photographer.
She kind of sounds like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
This film
Except for the whole war
mostly,
thing.
yeah, and
And being a woman
and being a woman
model.
and a model.
But other than that,
It's just like past
It's
lives.
like Bryce's.
So, yeah, so this film mostly covers her time covering the Second World War, where she is probably the only woman correspondent and photographer that ever covered the Second World War. It kind of starts out a little slow and seems just like other biopics, where it's an easy breezy story where, you know, she likes to go topless and hang out with her girlfriends. They seem to have like this wild and crazy life, living in Paris and hanging out and, you know, just letting her girls hang out everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Easy
do
and
know what
breezy
you're
in the
saying.
sun. You know what I'm saying, right?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, she liked to show her tits off. So, but also it showed us how she was a spitfire of a person. And also we get Andy Samberg
Oh my goodness.
in what I think is his first real dramatic role. And of course, the third best Skarsgård's into this, which he also did fairly well in this. Kate Winslet
fine.
is brilliant, as is Sandberg in this, as the team of photographers who go from happy-go-lucky biopic to traumatizing war crime retelling biopic. I really was captivated by this woman's story, but it was a biopic and had the usual convenient things put in obvious order and obviously in places to help drive this story. I really enjoyed it though. I just, as the film progressed, it got darker and deeper and richer, and she just became so much more better. And there's a scene with her and Sandberg in it, which is just both of them were knocked out of the park. It was meh, and I got. I just want to now see the doc about this.
Yeah.
Like, why do we not know more about this woman?
I don't know.
That's why they made the movie, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's sad that she did these amazing things, taking pictures that in retrospect and in hindsight now were better than anything that came out of the Second World War. Yeah, Second World War.
That was a while ago, dude.
Yeah. But
They don't even have
she
any footage
so
of
she
her.
go but she goes there on Vogue's dime.
Yeah, she's
And
quite the pioneer.
and then in British Vogue doesn't produce it because it's too controversial. So they send her pictures to Yankeeland Vogue, and I guess they produce some of them, but not all of them. But now you can buy her. You can buy her book. So I'm gonna buy her. Yeah, I'm gonna buy her war photos. You can buy it's. I think it's like $50 on Amazon. So I'll be picking that up.
Yeah, Lee was a biopic. And it wasn't any different than other biopics. Kind of took a moment in time and went into detail. But in this case, it was a very, very interesting subject. Lee Miller was a pioneer. She was a very powerful, strong-willed woman that, was going to get it done no matter what. And she was played very well by Kate Winslet. Winslet seems to do no wrong when it comes to her portrayal of anybody. She is one of the better actresses working today, really.
Yep.
Andy Samberg was just... It was so refreshing to see him in a dramatic role. It's something that I honestly didn't think that I'd ever see.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think, but, because you think Andy Samberg, he's a hot rod.
Yeah. No one can hot rod like he can.
But, now he's also David in this movie.
Yeah.
He was so good.
Yeah.
Andrea Riseborough as her editor of the Vogue magazine was just so good in this as well. This was a really well acted movie. What are you doing there, Baxter?
We've got an earthquake going on.
He's eating your music.
My dog is eating my music right now, and that's not cool. We've talked about this. I'm not sure that he understands me.
I don't think
No, he doesn't.
he wants your attention.
Back to Lee. It was a biopic though, and it probably ran a little too long for my liking. It was meh, but performances are great. The subject was very, very interesting.
What'd you think
There
of
are
the
some
ending?
heartbreaking scenes. The ending with the little sort of twist that they decided to do,
I kind of liked it.
I was okay with it. I kind of predicted it a little bit before it happened, but honestly, I didn't predict it until very, very late.
Yeah, me too.
So it was well done, and it made sense, and I was fine with it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a cool way to kind of tie things up at the end too,
I do.
But it was meh. It was a good movie.
I would say it's that people should see this.
People
film.
should absolutely see it, and if
Yeah.
you know nothing about Lee Miller, it's a good introduction. And then if you want to learn more after that, you've got your gateway to it.
Yeah, buy her books.
Yep.
All right. Well, we decided not to have another special episode for CIFF because we're just going to talk about our top 3 films of CIFF. So you can look at ciffcalgary.ca just to see what they played at the festival and check it out. Now, there is one film from me, and I think one film from you that came from the second half of CIFF that's made it in my top 3.
Yeah, I think one.
And I know one of our films is going to match, but 2 are not going to match.
Probably not.
So I'll do my 3 first. So I'm going in least favorite to favorite film, just so you know.
Okay.
So of my top 3 films, my least favorite film was Grand Theft Hamlet. To me, it was the most creative thing to come out of the pandemic. Also, one of the most creative documentaries that I've ever seen made, ever. So for the creativity alone, Grand Theft Hamlet makes it into my top 3. My number 2, which was a surprise to me, because if someone told me I'd have another zombie film, and of course I love zombie films, but I feel that most zombie films now have been done to death, and so there's nothing new in that particular space anymore. But Parvulas There are two things constant in this world: family and change. Nothing else matters. And this film is all about that. Shot beautifully in black and white and muted colors with gore and murder. And just like they say, it's all about the family.
All about the
In
family.
this case, it was 100% all about the family. They had things in this that I've never seen in zombie films before. The way this is shot is so brilliantly shot. I loved every frame of this film. The creativity that's this director had for horror is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And my number one favorite film still made it to number one through the beginning of the festival is My Favorite Cake. An aging widow that's not afraid to stick up for herself and say what's right, who falls in love after 30 years. This completely made me smile through this entire movie. And there's a lot of things that happen as this completely changes as the film moves on. But one thing is kind of the message we got from my old ass too, which is that, you know what? If you have a great love of your life, even if it's for a short moment in time,
Right.
that moment is worth everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's my top three.
What are my top three?
I don't know, Murd. Do you know what your top three are?
I saw absolutely nothing the last week
No,
of
but
the
what did you see
festival.
for the whole festival? What was your
The
top
whole
three?
festival hasn't really changed much.
All right, so your top three.
Still Unstoppable,
Yep.
A Different Man, and bumping off The Secret Mall Apartment in number 3.
Nice. Whoa, Parvulas.
Which
Parvulas.
I didn't think I was going to like because it broke a lot of my rules.
Yeah.
It had subtitles.
Yes.
And it was long, and it was in black and white.
Yes.
But it was fun as hell.
Nice.
I enjoyed it.
I love to hear that. I can't believe Parvulas took it out.
It did.
That's
Like I said, I
nice.
saw almost nothing the second week.
Yeah.
So that was, easy choice.
Sweet. Okay, so do you know finally yet what the hell you're doing?
You know, I was waffling between two for my number 3 movie of the festival, and I couldn't decide.
No,
but
you don't.
No, I'm just gonna pick one. Just
Damn right you're gonna
just.
pick one.
But you know, there are two.
No, you're picking one.
All right. So
You
if I'm
set
picking
that precedence.
Yeah. No, we're
No honorable mentions.
No
No.
honorable mentions. Superboys of Malagon is my number 3 movie. Very, very powerful story. I've talked about it before, so I'm not going to bore you with it again. But seek this movie out. Based on an Indian village that's not even a village, but a city that's not the Bollywood Central. But they make a film there, and it is heartwarming, heartbreaking, just makes you happy at the end. It is such a good movie. Loved it. So
Nice.
go and see Superboys of Malagon if you get a chance.
If we get a chance, yeah.
Number 2 movie from the animator of Mary and Max, which was a Calgary International Film Festival movie from 2009. We have Memoir of a Snail. This, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, is now one of my top 3 animated films of all time. I
Nice.
love this movie. There's so much delicious darkness going on. It is so unbelievably funny, and I just adore Adam Elliott. This guy makes such good movies. Both Mary and Max and Memoir of a Snail are among the best animated features ever made. Go watch them both. Do a double feature if you can. You will absolutely adore these movies. There is no way to not adore these. Not just the story, not just the absolute joy that they bring, but the animation is so amazing.
It's stop animation,
It's
isn't
stop, yeah.
it? Yeah, so
And
it's like Nick
just
Park
done-
type stuff.
Yeah, and it's just done so well. I just love this. And number one, of course, is my favorite cake, and you've gushed about it enough for both of us.
Yeah.
But my favorite cake it's one of the most bittersweet movies ever made. And even though a tragedy happens, you'll never feel so good at the end of a movie.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing feat, amazing actors, just making magic on the screen. Absolute magic.
Yeah.
Love my favorite cake. Best movie of the festival.
The joy that I guess I'm speaking for you two a little bit too, but the joy I had through watching this movie, it comes from how strong and amazing this woman is, and how she carries herself through the movie. And as things start to happen to her that are so great and positive, you're just caught up with this pure joy as you're watching it. And so I remember before it gets to the final act, I'm like, it does. I don't even care how this movie ends right now, because I'm like, I have so much joy from this movie that nothing could change it. And then it goes and it has a huge right turn in this film, and that, you know what, it even made the movie better because I didn't expect it coming.
And kudos to the jury at Calgary International Film Festival, because they actually got it right. They gave this movie the grand jury prize.
Nice.
So it was the winner.
No, okay. When was the last time you and I and other critics agree on the same thing?
Not too often, and especially when it comes to our local film festivals. I mean, they program them brilliantly, but man, do they pick the wrong movies when it comes to their best of the fest. This time they got it right.
But it was actually the jury, right?
It wasn't the jury.
It was the jury.
It
wasn't the programmers. Yeah.
Well, and it's also not the audience, right? Because that's another thing that happens.
Well, the audience is
like the audience award at film festivals
don't
even pay attention to it because it's
because usually it's a local movie that the audience is loaded with the
family,
family
with
and
the
friends.
family and the friends and the crew, and the actors.
So it gets 305. So of course it's going to win.
Except if we go to it and then we
bring it down.
Bring it down.
I must admit that happened once at this festival, and it might have gotten a 1 out of 5 from me.
Yep,
possibly.
Yes, as well.
But overall, the festival was tremendous this year. What a whole lot of good movies this year. Holy schmoly.
Sifted a good
job. They did a really good job this year of picking them.
Kudos, programming team. The best.
All right, I'll make this quick.
Make it quick. I'm watching Switchback.
Have a whole lot. This week it's more celebrity death watch.
Oh yeah, there was so much death.
Normally we don't discuss it, but it's been a brutal week.
Yeah, there's been like 700 people.
Yeah, like 700 people died this week. In the past 7 days, we've lost 4 major celebrities, and another one that we didn't even know about till it happened a couple months ago. It seems like a lot. Big one, as it pertains to us, was Dame Maggie Smith.
Yes.
On screen, she starred in films like Gosford Park, Room with a View, Sister Act.
Of course, she was 400 years old.
Secret Garden, The First Wives Club, Death in the Nile, The Best Exotic
She's in her
Marriott
90s,
Hotel,
wasn't she?
Clash of the Titans, and Quartet.
Do you know how old she was?
She
90?
was in 7 of the 8
How old is she?
Harry Potter.
90?
She was 89.
Okay.
Almost
Almost 90.
young.
Shut
She's
up,
still
I'll
young.
tell you.
All right.
She's still young.
We also lost Chris Christopherson.
Yeah.
Those people who don't know his music, he was also an actor. He was in A Star is Born with Barbra Streisand.
The original.
Actually, it wasn't the original.
It was the second one. Yeah, that's right. The first
I
one
thought
had
it was
Judy
the original.
Garland,
I almost
wasn't
put
it?
original, then I realized no, it was the second one. But anyway, the first 2 Blade films, Convoy, Semi-Tough, Big Top Pee-wee,
Yes.
and a bunch of others. And oh yeah, he won a few Grammys too. He was 88. One that I was sad about, you guys don't care, was John Ashton. For those who don't know him,
Oh, what are you
he
talking
was
about?
Taggart in 3 of the 4 Beverly Hills Cop movies. The last one just came out this year. He was also in over 40 films dating back to the 70s. But he'll always be Taggart to me. He was 76.
Young whippersnapper.
One we didn't hear about until now was John Amos.
Oh, wow.
if you don't watch TV, where he was the dad on Good Times,
Mm-hmm.
he was also in Die Hard 2 and Coming to America.
He's
He
my
was
namesake, James
Also
He
in
is.
Uncut Gems, which you two have said was a good movie.
Yeah, well, no, it was an
Evans.
excellent.
It wasn't a
movie.
good movie. It was a great.
He died in August. The family kept it a secret till now. He was 84. And finally,
I actually really like
there's
James Evans.
Yeah.
It's always
sports
solid.
legend Pete Rose. Technically, he's a baseball player, but he was in 11 films, so that counts. Sure, he played himself. But for those who
11
didn't-
cameos.
That's right. For those who didn't know, Rose was Major League Baseball's all-time hits leader,
Yes.
but was banned from baseball and the Hall of Fame for betting on his own team.
He's also a degenerative gambler.
And he was the manager of the Cincinnati Reds. He was 83. Yeah, it was a tough week all around.
That's sad times.
Oh, yeah, I know. They were all old, but still.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
My rage this week isn't film related.
Oh,
No. Yeah, it's usually always film related for me.
always is.
But most of the things that happened this week, I'm simply exhausted from the
Yeah, you
amount
had a rough
of
week.
time we had with film festival, and I also worked a trade show and a bunch of stuff. But my rage this week is actually, as we get closer to winter in Canada, the amount of people back on the roads now is what's causing me to rage. It's
back
like
on the roads.
Yeah,
They've always been on the
they're all
roads.
no, but the holidays are done, and all the kids are back in school, and now everybody's starting to work in the downtown core again, which is causing my commute to be longer. That's my rage.
Same rage I have for
it's
all
commuting.
the kiddies. The kiddies are back in
Who?
Exactly.
The kiddies are back in school now, so basically my neighborhood has been like overwhelmed by teenagers in all the the restaurants and everything else. They're there all the time. Like they don't even go to class anymore.
They're the worst.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's a little bit of a lame rage, but I'm too
well.
exhausted to come up with anything
Think of
better.
anything else?
Yeah.
No.
At least it's not as bad as Bryce's rages most times. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll
What are you
see
talking
now.
about? My rages are primo.
Oh yeah. All right.
Primo rage. Alright, so you have to stay with me here. All right, because initially you're gonna say, "Well, why is that your rage?" But
I'm already
Is it
thinking.
Cineplex again?
no. So here's my rage. Are you ready?
Once upon a time.
Y'all ready for this?
Ba ba ba.
My rage is that Wolves did
Yes.
not get released
Yes.
in theaters.
Yes.
Now, don't get me wrong. I was not looking forward to Wolves.
I was.
In no way am I saying that my rage is because I don't get to watch Wolves on the big screen. What I am saying is the fact that another movie, rather than them releasing it in theaters, they've decided that it's better to just go straight to streaming.
Yep.
That is a trend that's happening with Apple.
Yep.
That is a trend that's now happening with Netflix. Remember there was a series of movies or a series of months in a row where we got 2 or 3 Netflix movies a month easily.
Yep.
We haven't seen a Netflix movie in a long time.
Yeah.
We're not seeing any Apple movies now.
Nope.
on the big
Yeah,
screen either.
well, they've got some
They're
program
all-
for the new
Or
year.
Prime.
but-
Yeah, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Well, Wolf's was supposed to come out as well.
And it's got 2 big
And it
Hollywood
didn't.
stars in it.
Yeah,
So
but
if they pull that movie from theaters and say it's not even worth releasing in theaters, we're in trouble at the movie theaters
We are.
because Netflix and Apple have become rather large in their producing of films. And if those two are throwing their hands up and saying, nah, we're not even going to bother, that's a problem for
is.
cinema.
Yeah.
So that is my rage that Wolf's
I actually forgot.
did not get released
Yeah, no,
in
I saw-
cinemas.
Thing is, they showed trailers for it in the theater.
They've been pumping the tires on this movie for
Yeah.
like 4 months, Murray.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Freaking
It was a
Clooney
last
and
minute.
Pitt.
It was a
I'm
last
like,
minute.
It was going to be huge, and not even a release date in the theater.
Yeah, just
That-
all of a
you
sudden,
know,
all of a sudden, I see it that it's on Apple Plus. I'm like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Here's what.
So then I literally went online to go find like when did I miss it?
Yeah.
Because how did we miss that?
Did it at least get released in the U.S. somewhere?
I have no idea.
Yes, it did have
I'm
some
sure. I'm
limited
sure it got
releases.
released
Like
somewhere.
in L.A.?
Yeah. I'm sure it got released in New York and L.A. in 3 movie theaters.
Yeah.
and it probably got no one come to it.
But yeah.
I don't know.
But
They're pretty good draws, those
At the
guys.
end of the day, I'm just.
But the
It
movie
saddens
looks
me.
horrible.
It doesn't matter. The movie looks horrible. That a movie of this scope, with this much star power behind it, and they decide we're not even going to put it in theaters.
Yeah.
That is another nail in the coffin of cinemas, and it
it
makes
is.
me very, very angry.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
100% agree with
That's a good rage.
That's a good rage this
for
week.
once.
That's right.
Thank you.
You knocked it out of the park this
My
time.
rage doesn't even have to change.
That's right. My,
Bryce.
my rage is in Bryce this week.
Always knock
Rage
it out of the park.
subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
All right. So, just so you all know, we are back to our regular episodes next week. So, Casey's back, Rager Dare's back, and Bryce and I will be watching Pulse from 2006, and the Mur has us watching Transylvania 6 5000 with Carol Kane versus Jeff Goldblum in Battle of the Titans.
That's. I have no idea who I'm going with.
I
going
don't
into
know.
this.
We gotta
Usually
watch
I
this
have
movie.
a preconceived idea, but
Yeah.
you have stumped me this time, Merman.
That's right. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family who can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, the nerdy photographer, and the voice of Rager Darren, our god of rage. He'll be back next week, as I already mentioned. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We're always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare to terrible movies to fuel our rage. But no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 make us a rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.